Well, good morning, a proper good morning to you all. As you probably would have just saw from all the shots before this, absolutely stunning morning, beautiful sunrise, a pretty chilly night. Had a carp in the dark as you saw, and this one just before first light. I've also had a couple of bream, but that little spot, I never thought I'd say clipping up to a Volkswagen Beetle would be a spot, but the two carp I've caught have both been on cast which has hit the Beetles or either landed on the bonnet or something and rolled off. And this was the second one. So two commons to start off, and lost one as well yesterday, but lovely start and a beautiful morning. Let's get it back. Well, I just slipped back that second fish. I think it's time to get the kettle on. Although it's only early September, it's been pretty cold last night. The odd fish I was having and handling them, my hands were absolutely frozen. Quite a still night, didn't hear much activity, but all the fish came on my left rod, which is between two pedalows opposite. Now I'm directly opposite a pedalo station, and the rod that has done all the bites has been directly between two floating Volkswagen Beetles, which is quite an interesting feature. The bloke who owns all the pedalos is probably going to find a load of Scopex squid boilies in there from when I was baiting up. A lot of them landed in there, but that's done all the bites. Absolutely nothing on the right hand rod, which is on a Ronnie rig. All the bites have come on the slip D. I'll show you a bit more in detail of the setups I'm using in a bit, but that's what I'm using today. And it's still early morning, but it's going to start getting busy. And as with the rules on here, it's 2 rods at night, and then one of them's got to come in. You've got to use just the 1 rod in the day. So one of them, which is going to be the margin rod, is going to come in very shortly, and then probably pack down and have a wander up and down the canal, try and find some fish. I think stay quite mobile today, and hopefully we'll pick up a few more. But yeah, time to get a kettle on. Well, I was going to talk you through my setup a little bit later on in the session, but as I've just had my 3rd bream of the session, I thought I might as well show you now. And this is what's been doing all the bites so far. A simple slip D rig setup. I've got a long shank on there and stripped back a little bit of coating on the braid, probably about 1 inch or so from the hook, so it just gives it a supple end section. And then between the uncoated and the coated section, I've put a blob of putty, so it just pins down the very end bit of the rig. There's a lot of movement in the end, and the whole slip D gives it sort of a blowback effect. On that, I'm just using a 15mm cultured Scopex squid, and then to stop any kind of tangles on the cast, I'm putting on a really small bag. Again, just crumb down boilie and micro pellets. Because I'm putting this on the bag by threading it through, it's a bit of a long-winded process because I've got to take the anti-tangle sleeve off and the bit of putty, slide it on, and then put the putty back on and the anti-tangle sleeve. So it only takes a couple more minutes, but it just means that I know my presentation is absolutely spot on. So that's exactly what's going to go out there now. I'm going to bring in the other rod because it is now daytime, so it's only 1 rod allowed now, and pack everything else down. And hopefully we're going to have 1 more fish from this spot before we move on. Sum this story in 1 word. Shit. There we go, we've been on the move for the last few hours. We tried a couple different spots, found some fish up here. Some dog walkers going by said they've seen some big fish up here, so we wandered up, tried getting them on free line tactics, but they weren't having any of it on the top. Matt came close to catching one. They just weren't interested, kept swimming directly underneath it. So I made a small change. I've stuck a wafter on instead and trimmed it down so it sunk ever so slowly. And first cast, pulled out of one. I saw it suck it in, but I pulled out of it. Then this one came round, missed it the first time, came right to my feet in the margin. I dropped it in again so it sunk a couple of inches, and I took it, so right at my feet. And I love it when a change of tactics pays off. It makes it all worthwhile. Only a little one, but makes the day's hard work moving. We're now 1.5 miles away from the basin with all our gear, so very happy with that. Let's get him back. Over 3 miles later, we are back at the basin for the night. One sec. Oh, that's better. Good morning everyone. This one rattled off just before first light, so put him in the sling while I got a cup of tea on the go. Absolutely lashed it down this morning as well. Didn't kick off like I thought it would. I put in quite a bit of bait yesterday hoping that it would draw in the fish and get multiple hits. Wasn't the case. Kept on getting plagued by bream last night. Didn't catch any, but a lot of liners and things. And this one went off just before first light, so very welcome. And another comment. Be quite nice to get a mirror this session because they're nice and scaly fish in here. But I can't complain when still catching. Unfortunately, Matt lost one in the dark as well. And Alan rocked up and he's yet to catch yet, but hopefully today's the day where we'll go for a wander and catch a few more. Let's get this one back. Enjoy the rest of the day. Morning, Blair.
Morning, Joe. Aside from my soul, there goes aside, there goes aside, now there goes aside from my soul.
We're back down to the same stretch as where we came in free line yesterday for some fish. Had a bit of a stressful session, but there was a lot of fish up here and I did manage one in the end. We've just come up here and I've seen a load of fizzing right in front of this swim. Now it could be the weed or the silt sort of disturbing, but quite often that's the fish moving through and disturbing it or making it bubble. So I'm going to put one down here. It's quite a small section, this bit before we get down to the bridge. So we'll give it a little bit of time here and then see if it doesn't pay off and then move on. I'm in. Matt, I'm in. Oh! Just lost one. Well, what a manic 5 minutes. Found some fizzing, lowered the rig in place, a few freebies around it, and it's in less than 5 minutes it was away. Whizzed straight into the weed opposite and pulled straight off. So gutted that I lost one, lowered the rig back in, just put the rod down, put the GoPro on, and it was away again. I'd say 30 seconds. So clearly they're feeding on something down there. And I managed to get one. First mirror of the trip, and it's a nice scaly one, but I'm gonna get the rod back out and then film it because clearly there's some fish in the area. Well, before I get my one out and do a bit of filming, I just had word from Alan that he's already got one as well. So I'm gonna quickly go and film his, come back, get mine out and show you that one because it is a beautiful mirror. But I don't have a clue what he's got yet until we get down there and find out. Here you have one.
Last night didn't quite go to plan for me. Flipped the rods out about midnight. Other than losing one, nothing to show for my efforts. Got on the move with Joe this morning. And what are the other lads' names, Joe? Ryan and? Matt and Jordan. Not Ryan or Bob or James, no, just Matt and Jordan. Yeah, they're further up. In general, we've come about 1.5 miles out of the sort of busier built up Bude Town Centre. And I've bagged one. And you have too, Joe?
Well, I had one, lost one.
And yours is a really nice scaly one. The quality of the fish is really quite incredible, you know. I've done a lot of canal fishing and they tend to be a lot more tatty and battered than these. These are very clean fish, almost look brand new. So yeah, mad chuffed to have bagged my first Bude Canal carp, and hopefully there'll be a few more to come. Epic. Just literally walking back along the towpath with Joe to go and see the other lads. Joe, stop. And you could see all this water here coloured up. I could see the odd tail pattern again. I even saw a really nice scaly mirror pass through on the near side margin. Yeah, Joe, can we just stop for 2 minutes? Quickly load the bread back in, and yeah, what, a minute or two, Joe? It wasn't very long. Wow, I'm really enjoying fishing this place. It's great to be able to find the fish, you know, set little traps and pick them off one by one. Yeah, big ups Cornwall. So many people say to me at shows or via email, best rig in the world, Alan, what is the wonder rig? For me, it always has been and always will be that. Your main line and a hook. Dead simple. You can use a plethora of different hook baits, from bread to half a boilie, sweet corn, luncheon meat, pepperami, maggots. It's endless. You know, you're side hooking the bait, mounting it onto the shank itself, and then just letting it flutter down onto an area where the fish are feeding. Yeah, for me, #1 rig.
Well, here we go, rocked up in this swim. There's a load of fizzing going on, and lowered a rig in, and within 3 or 4 minutes it was off. Fortunately that one came off, so I lowered it back in thinking my chance was gone, but a few more bubbles came up, and within 30 seconds of replacing it, this one whizzed away. And what an absolutely stunning little mirror. So far all I've had is commons, and I said this morning I really want to get a mirror, and this is why, because they are all absolutely stunning. Pristine condition, lovely times in Bude. Let's get it back. So the rod's still out, it's bubbling out there, I'm feeling good for a bite. But apparently, now so is Alan.
Just literally walked along the canal, seen a set of fizzers, and yeah, just decided to flick a little bit of bread over. Sorry Joe, is that your rod, mate?
Well, it's about 11:30 now. We've been here probably an hour and a half or so, and no more action on the rod. I was quite lucky to get a second chance with the second take, because this is very much a one bite sort of swim, because you're right at the very end of the canal, so any kind of disturbance I think they would have pushed off. But I was lucky enough to get that lovely mirror. The time to bring them in. There's plenty of fish down where Alan was going. He had two, nearly had a third one on the way back as well, so plenty down there. I'm also getting hungry, so I'm going to shoot into town and get a Pengenese pasty, because they are huge and you can't come to Bude without getting a traditional pasty. So rod in, head down, and hopefully have a few more fish. Right, so as you just saw, I've just landed fish number 6, and this gives you a bit more of an idea of what we're fishing in on this canal. So there's a lot of clear patches. The margin spot I just fished then was absolutely solid. Everywhere I put the lead was donking around, but it peeled off and went straight into some of this weed and went a bit solid. So I had to go right up to it and pull directly up, and it came up like a sack of potatoes because it's just covered in weed, hence why it's a bit lively on the map. But this is what we're fishing around. But if you find the clear patches, it's easy to present bottom baits fairly easily. If we uncover that, quickly show you that I have changed the setup that I'm using, well, the rig. I've now gone to complete bottom bait with a size 6 claw, I think it is. A little bit of shrink tubing down the bottom of the shank so the boilie exits the very bottom. A little bit of shrink tubing on the eye so it turns over really quickly. Again, it's basically exactly the same setup as the other rig, only I'm not using a slip D, it's much more of a static hair. And again, still lead clips, just dumping the lead, which is exactly what you need it to do when you're fishing in weed like this. So let's get it back out and hopefully have a few more.
Well, cracking mirror. I really wanted to catch one after seeing Joe's beautiful fish earlier on this morning. And yeah, by not sitting around, you know, behind a bite line, I'm actually wandering here, there and everywhere. Each and every time I bump into a fish, I get a pretty good opportunity to try and catch him. And yeah, this was no exception, a really lovely Bude Canal mirror. What a fish. I came down here, you know, to meet up with Joe, to have a lovely time. I'm very fond of his company, love his films and stuff. And yeah, of course I wanted to catch a Cornish carp from the canal in Bude, but never did I imagine I'd get one as amazing as this. I've managed 3 off the bottom now, just going around with my bucket, feeding Scopex squid flake, a few whole boilies, pellet, just a mix they can grub around and colour the water up with. And yeah, managed 3 fishing over the top of that. but this one, he came off the surface. My favourite method, fishing incredibly tight to the far bank rushes. They're over there and they're slurping, and there's every possibility of another bite. Will they look as good as this one? I think that's pretty impossible. Thank you, Cornwall.
Let it back now, Alan.
Epic. I might have to take that back, what I said about that zip linear. Incredible. I've just caught one even more perfect a minute ago, and I said I doubt I'll catch a more beautiful fish. Well, they're all beautiful, you know. I'm really taken back by the quality of the carp in here. Not only are they in great condition, yeah, stunning, stunning fish. Mega place for the future, that's for sure.
Once again, the local boy has left it till late. I've offered him some Bude Canal tuitions, but he's decided to go solo.
Finally, the pressure's off. For the last few days, Joe's been down. I've been blanking, Joe's been bagging up, and finally I've bagged one on a Nash Scopex squid. It's been doing me good in the last year. And yeah, rod was in the water no longer than 10 seconds and it literally melted off. Bagged this beauty. Let's slip this one back and get another one. Big ups.
Typical, Alan's already in. What a day. I am absolutely shattered. It is 9:15 and rods are finally out on the spots. We have walked pretty much non-stop today, other than the odd occasion where we've had rods out of sleeper. Hello Jordan, welcome back. And Jordan's just got back, he's about to get his rods out. We're down at the basin, fishing a slightly different spot to the previous two nights. This is where I did the nights on my last trip up here. So we're kind of much nearer the main road. I've got one just off the back of a boat, the other one 3 tow rope sort of things that you wrap your tow ropes around up the, that's my markers anyway, 3 of those up the bank on the right. So they're both in the against the dam wall kind of thing, and we're all sorted for the night. We went from here this morning up to the other end, walked loads. Alan had quite a few, I had a few. We then walked even further up to a stock pond, which is a strangest looking stock pond we've ever seen, but it was some lovely fish in there. Managed 1 each, well Jordan had 2. Then we went on to a lake, which was, what was the name of the lake? Wellsborough, where myself, Alan and Ashton all had a carp as well. So we've caught fish from a canal, a stock pond and then another lake, which is all covered on the same ticket. But manic day, finally got the rods out. Time to crack open a little bit of cheeky pig, which I know Jordan's been looking forward to as well, because nice bit of Somerset juicy stuff, shall we say. I wouldn't say it's rough, it goes down too smooth to be rough, but I'm going to enjoy some of this. Alan's just down the bank, so he's got his rods out and he is absolutely knackered as well, because such is the life of Alan. He's been non-stop since Sunday on the road doing all sorts of different things, and it showed today. He started to flag, so nice chill night tonight, but hopefully a few fish along the way as well.
Well, what a fantastic day I've had in Bude in Cornwall. Yeah, backtracking a little bit, got down here late last night, met up with Joe. I've had a busy few days to be fair, so I got here quite tired, but whenever I'm put, you know, in the environment of water, of course, the first thing I want to do is get the rods out. I did about 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Had a bite at 2:30, but sadly lost it. And yeah, it was a real nice surprise to wake up this morning and look across the bank and see Joe, you know, lift a fish up for the cameras. He did manage to bag one, so that was a result. We packed up, got on a move. I went and got my ticket from the post office. Lovely people there. And yeah, we've spent the day really wandering around various stretches of this beautiful canal, looking for signs of fish. I started off the session this morning just with a sawn off, with a bread bomb, trying to locate individual fish, presenting a slow sinking bait to them. Didn't really work out, to be fair, so went back to the motor, got my Scopex squid mix, which consists of flake and 6mm pellet, 2mm pellet, a few whole boilies, a real nice mix to get them grubbing around. And yeah, I just looked where the fish were happy being, you know, where they were already feeding on naturals, for example, or just milling around in the weed, primed a few spots, and it became quite easy after that. I carried on walking the stretch, find the fish tails up, grabbing around, you know, distorting the water, and I'd just present a slow sinking piece of bread flake over the top of it, and that caught me a couple of nice fish early on. I then thought I could catch them, you know, on sort of bite alarms and stuff, just so I could not concentrate so hard, but that didn't really work out for me either. And the latter part of the day saw me just fishing with a single rod again, walking around looking for fish, and managed to nick a few more, including a really beautiful zip linear, which was definitely the highlight of my day. Back now at the basin, it's my final night here. I've got to disappear very early in the morning to go and work in the tackle shop, and yeah, got the rod out. Dead simple tactics. I'm using a mashed bread mix with some spod cloud in it, and just fishing a white citrus pop up over the top. And fingers crossed, at some point this evening, this rod will rattle off, and I'll catch a final nice Bude carp in what is really quite some serious urban environments. I've thrown a hide up, but I can't even get the thing screwed down. So yeah, it's really it's a cross between the ultimate urban banks and the ultimate rural banks. You're in such a beautiful place, but yeah, like I say, it is built up. And it is Friday night, so as much as I'm sitting here having a little tipple of cider now, no doubt there'll be a few others come and greet me at some point in the early hours that have had far more than me. But that's part of it, you know. Yeah, big ups to Joe, big ups to the boys for hosting us. Will I come back? You bet I will. I've had a thoroughly good time. And here he is, the man of the moment. A little top up.
There you are, sir.
Thank you very much. Now, Joe, really appreciate it, mate. I've had a lovely time, as always, spending time with you, mate. Yeah, always thoroughly enjoy it. Love your company, love your humour, and you can catch them, mate. So it's nice to go fishing with someone, and there's a little bit of competition today, weren't there?
Ah, it's just the way I am. Yeah.
No, brilliant, big ups. And I know you've got a few more extra days, and I hope you.
I'm here all day again tomorrow. I'm probably going to go do a bit of bodyboarding. Need to get that in there.
Yeah, good for you.
And then probably head off Sunday.
Well, I shall see you in the morning, no doubt. But yeah, big ups. Thank you, man.
Hopefully we'll have something tonight.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. One more before turning for the night. And Jordan tells me this one's called Split Tail. Doesn't leave much up to the imagination on why it's got that name. It's got a split in its tail. Biggest one for me, and biggest one out of the canal over the few years I've been fishing this place. About, I'd say 16 pound-ish. It's a very welcome. I'm very tired, he's about to flip. I need some bed. But Jordan's just had one as well, so we'll quickly show you that. Then I'm hitting the sack.
Yes then, Joe's just bagged the fish, so I thought of jumping on the action, and yeah, bagged this banging canal mirror.
Morning, and what a hectic one it's been. Didn't get too much sleep because for the last hour and a half it's been feeding frenzy mad. I've been struggling to keep 2 rods in the water. They currently are right now, but I've had several bites. I've actually got 5 fish all in the nets for you to see, and Jordan's got 1 as well. He's just woken up, but it's been an absolutely mental morning. So fish are clearly here in numbers. Rods are gonna have to come in fairly soon, I think, because there's a triathlon on today, loads of swimming in this basin area, but it has gone off this morning. Let's get them out, Cue the montage of fish. Scrap that, I'm only going to show you 4 because one of them's leaked the net. But I did have 5, I swear. Bit of a slow night for you then, I hear.
Slow? Quit night fishing, mate. No, literally, I've had a really run of bad luck. Can't put my finger on it. But yesterday daytime, fantastic. Had such a great time with the lads. I've got to head off now. I've got to go and do a shop day in Lisgard. Lisgard. Big fish, little fish. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed my time with Joe and the boys in Bude, and I wish them a lot of luck for the rest of their session. Thank you, mate.
Nice one.
Thank you.
Wet hand. That's a wet hand.
Good sign, mate. You've had a brilliant night. Big ups.
Cheers, son. See you again soon, mate.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Right, well, we're into the final evening now. It's just coming up 5 o'clock and it's pretty busy here at the moment. The restaurant's in full swing just to the right of us. Quite a buzz going on. Just had some people kind of talking about us about fishing. I'm absolutely shattered. It's catching up on us. I think you're pretty knackered as well.
I am, yeah.
Matt's ill in bed at home, so it's taking its toll on us all, but final night, and I'm hopeful that it'll kick off just as much as it did last night. So this is
Shay.
And you wanted to be in my video?
Yeah.
Say hello.
Hi.
There you go. Shay, now we're introduced, can I quickly borrow your bike to get to my car?
Yeah.
This is Shay, everyone. He's a legend. Well, there we go. We just had a little bit of bad news that we got to be off by the early hours. There's a match on tomorrow. A little bit downhearted, and then it kicked off. 3 fish in the space of about half an hour. Jamie and Shay have just come along. Some interested viewers and just interested in our fishing. So that one's mine and this one's mine. That was Jordan's. Happy days.
Beautiful carp.
Big ups. Big ups.
Happy days. go. Probably the final fish of my trip to Bude. We pushed it a little bit later than we should have done, but it was worth it. Rods are completely in now, everything's packed up, sleeping under the stars, ready for the morning. But this one slipped up just to end the session. Probably another low double, very, very closely to being a leather, other than one, maybe two scales on it. But a lovely, lovely low double, big old rubbery lips on it, suggests there's craze in here. And also the fact that Jordan's been bringing in baits that have been a bit chewed up. The light's just run out of power, or keeps running out of power. I think it's time to call it a day. Get a few more hours kit, and I'll see you in the morning. Well, it's come to the Sunday morning and a night under the, well, I say a night under the stars. It rained a bit this morning and no shelter up or anything because it was shut from midnight. We pushed it a little bit longer, but no shelters and no rods in from about 2 AM. And apparently, according to some of the match boys, they turned up at 8 and told us to take our shelters down and rods in, which is news to us. We were both asleep under the stars. But anyway, it's been a great session. I was a little bit worried that coming down the Bude again, it wouldn't live up to as good as the session was last time, but I succeeded it. We've caught fish from the canal, from the stock pond, from the lake. Just really enjoyed it and caught more fish. So thank you very much, Jordan, for having me down again. And tunes yesterday, charging batteries, has been great fun. So I'm sure I'll be back down again at some point, but for now, it's goodbye. I'm going home. I'm shattered. My back's in pieces and I need a bath. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't already, like the video if you did, add me on Facebook and Instagram at Nuffinbutfishing, and you are Cornish Carper and also DJ John. Yeah. Bye people. Oh, and Matt, hope you're alright. Did he die last night? I don't know. Cider is going down lovely. Stick him in Alan's net. Oh, just been shat on.